You're listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. In this installment, perhaps you've wondered, how do things get from those collection boxes to the thrift store? Well, sometimes they don't. Also, more Persky furniture disasters, and showing off in your underwear is now a family business.
I haven't taken any meds today.
I haven't had nearly enough coffee today. So, you work at a thrift store, right?
Yes, I do.
You volunteer for the hospice thrift store. Do you get the feeling that there are a lot of people who have like a hoarding problem and they just give stuff to you because it really should be garbage, but they can't make themselves?
Oh, yeah, that happens all the time. And you know what happens to that stuff?
You take it home?
Well, some of it, yeah. No, it goes onto a truck to another thrift store.
No.
Yeah, eventually somebody's going to put it in their store and sell it.
Huh. Now that you've told me this, I have this vision of the thrift store at the end of the line.
There is one. The one I work for, even though our prices are probably the lowest out of all of them,
Yeah.
the stuff that we sell is kind of more upscale.
Okay.
Well, and I think it's because it comes from people who have utilized hospice recently in their lives. So they appreciate the fact that the hospice is free.
The employees seem to be pretty ethical at all of these nonprofit thrift stores, but all kinds of stuff happens, I have a feeling, on the way to the thrift store. Like there was a shoe drive at the park where I swim. And as I'm coming out of the pool the other day, I see one Park District employee holding up a pair of brand new sneakers and going, "These should fit me."
Nice.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of stuff from my thrift store in this house, but we buy it.
Oh, I'm sure.
For example, a pair of designer jeans. I'm talking about upscale designer jeans like Citizens for Humanity or 7. There's $3.99. That's $3.99.
I sort of imagine that all those really expensive jeans are actually only made in a size 2. That's my belief about them. That's my theory. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of thinking that they're not made in womanly sizes. Not to imply
Actually,
that
I own
size
some.
2s aren't. Yeah, but you have no butt at all. So
That's true.
that makes you a size 2. Speaking of moms and mom sizes, I was reading some piece in the New York Times about some woman who is supporting her family and her husband is her social media manager. And she posts.
That's a size.
Yeah. She posts non-pornographic stuff to a subscription adult website. And they're all upset because their friends and family are sending them Bible verses.
I read that same
I
article.
just thought that was hilarious. I'm like,
Well, the funniest line was that they're sending us Bible verses, but they're not religious people.
they're not church people. That's what they.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if they send like a large enough verse, they figure she can tape it to her midriff and cover a little more of herself.
I think however you make your money, go for it.
We spend a lot of time teaching little girls now that they have choices and they can be anything they want. And the article was just sort of admiring of the lifestyle that this has provided. This woman employing her husband as her iPhone photographer so that she can lie on the dining room table in her lingerie, arch her back, and pout for the camera. This is her business now. And I'm thinking, why was I a feminist exactly? What was I trying to achieve exactly?
Wait.
Yeah.
I have a total different take on that.
Okay.
I agree where she said these kind of things used to belong to men using women's bodies.
Yes.
Such as, Penthouse, Playboy.
I totally agree with that. Yes.
And so she's making her money using her own body,
yes.
if that makes sense.
It's true. I bet also
So in a way, it is empowerment.
just because you're the one doing the marketing and collecting the check doesn't necessarily mean that you're really in a position of power. People sell organs. People rent out their wombs for surrogacy. These are not the kind of choices that people make if they have other good choices. That's just what I'm
No, I
saying here.
think that would be not a choice you would make
Well, I
with
think
other
that when
good
you wake up in
choices.
the morning and you think, now what should I be in my life? Should I be a lingerie model on an internet site or a brain surgeon? I don't think that that's a choice that people are making. So my point
I
is
don't.
that that
You're saying she's not a brain surgeon.
I'm saying that probably, this whole idea that we're a bunch of marketing geniuses and anyone can be her own Hugh Hefner or Larry Flint is the delusion. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
I don't think marketing genius has anything to do with it. I think a bunch of horny men who want to look at pictures has everything to do with it.
This is the problem with nobody getting paper catalogs anymore.
I
You,
got one yesterday,
did
but there are
you?
no people in it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So people used to not have to pay to see a woman in lingerie. You could look at a
That's
catalog.
true. That's true. That great big giant Sears catalog.
Oh my gosh. First, I was shocked to learn as a child that people used the Sears catalog for toilet paper in outhouses way back in the day. And then I was a little less shocked to learn that young boys used the Sears catalog for its
Yeah.
lingerie section.
Yep.
And now I just think we ought to bring back all those catalogs because here's this suburban Dallas mom with her two little dogs named after the Cowboys, whatever they are.
Football
And
players.
the best way she can make her living is to crawl around on her dining room table wearing green lace brassiere and panty sets. And
I don't think it's the best way. I think it's the easiest
I
way.
don't think she has a lot of other options, is what I'm saying. I'm not, I think,
I don't know.
her degree in optometry has yet to arrive for her, is what I'm saying.
Guess the
Yeah.
only thing that disturbed me out of the article,
Yeah.
and it kind of disturbed me, and I'm still deciding whether I'm disturbed by it or not,
Yes.
is the fact that she has teenage daughters.
Yes.
And
And they participate in her campaign of whatever it is they're campaigning
yeah,
in.
I kind of have an issue with that just because they are minor children.
She doesn't let them take their clothes off and waltz around in lingerie. They just, I don't know what they do. Maybe they, they powder her buns. I don't know what they
I
do
don't
for.
know. But yes, I think that that's kind of a creative, out of the box
Oh, dear.
way to make a living in the time that, we're coming into a recession or whatever.
And she doesn't do porn. She's pointed out that maybe occasionally a nipple, but that's all. If you have to describe this as maybe a nipple, but that's all,
It's a gateway.
it's kind of a gateway nipple, yeah. Way back in the day, Playboy was doing the Women of Radio
Mhm.
issue, and I got a call, and my criteria for this was, would I want my father to see this? That was sort of my
Hell no.
what I want. And I asked them, like, what are you looking to photograph? Because they'd just done a Women of Rock and all the women were clothed. Like Chrissy Hynde was wearing leather, whatever, and Pat Bennett, nobody was nude. And they said partial nudity. You may remember this. You knew me at this and worked near me at this point. And I thought, what the heck is partial nudity? Like one breast, one butt cheek? What exactly? And it turned
Two
out that
microphones.
a microphone on each side, artfully placed.
Yep.
But they said no, it was full breast exposure. And then I invoked my, would I want my father to see this? And I guess there are women who really don't care if their fathers see them posing in a Playboy magazine from nude from the waist up. But I think maybe the would I want my father to be an only fan for this would be a good criteria to use. The whole idea that it's the family business, that
Yeah, the family business thing struck me as really strange. But as far as her making money off her body, I don't care.
I don't think the article said what they did for a living before.
Oh, she cleaned people's houses. But now she doesn't have to clean houses. All
That's
she does is
true.
roll around on her dining room table,
It's amazing. Really
which
is
is
amazing.
obviously much more sturdy than my dining room table.
I mean, your furniture seems to just be a hazard to health in general. You and your chair tumbling.
Here's a dining room table story that I'll never forget. This was when my dad passed, and this was back in, I don't know, long, long time ago. And after his funeral, all my parents' friends, of course, brought food over to my house. And they were all in these, fancy plates and platters and all this. and started piling them on my dining room
Oh
table.
dear.
Yeah, you know where this is going.
Oh
The
no.
table collapsed.
Oh no.
I mean, just like bam, everything went flying. The ceiling was full of food.
If Miss Texas Thighs had been Michigan Thighs, you could have had her come clean the lasagna off your ceiling.
To this day, I think that my dad did that on purpose because my mom's old biddies were there. They were mahjong
The
group.
Mahjong
Called it,
ladies?
you called them the old biddies. They kind of took over everything.
Did they clean the ceiling? That's what I want to know.
But I'm gonna guess one of my taller brothers may have taken care of that.
See, I would think you'd have to call in one of those crime scene cleaning services. No, it's not blood, it's just lasagna.
It's lasagna. It's matzo balls.
There's a thing you can make some money at as opposed to taking off your clothing and crawling around on your dining table. Texas Thighs could expand her business by doing specialty ceiling cleaning wearing a very short skirt.
I thought you were gonna say have mahjong tournaments for money.
No, they, no, I was not going to say that. There are certain games that I don't even know what they are. They're just popular with other people.
Yeah, that's one to me.
Yeah.
Mahjong and canasta.
Yeah, I have no
I remember
idea.
my parents used to play canasta.
Any game, really. I have no
Yeah.
ability with any games or sports. If there are rules, my kids still complain that I never played games with them, and it's because I don't like anything with rules. I don't like it. I can tolerate a lane line in a pool, and that's about the limit.
A lane line in a pool.
That's it. That's all the rules I want. I stop at stoplights. I'm careful in school zones when children are present. And as for
Yeah,
the
'cause
rest
it's
of
like
your,
$1,000 ticket, isn't it?
oh my gosh, the city of Chicago has turned itself over to these traffic cameras, and they basically dare you to fight them. They've set up these little, oh, you can fight this. And the court that they set up, it's like a joke. This traffic court,
Yeah.
they rent like some disused donut shop in some fourth rate mini mall, and they stick like six, quote, close quote, traffic court judges in little cubicles. And you just walk up and they go, denied, denied all day long. So
You know,
I got it.
they put those down in Phoenix.
Did they?
Yeah, and I got one in the mail, and it was Frankie driving. I just said, "This obviously is not me." And it
But
went
then, see, in
away.
Chicago, you have to prove that your car was in the shop or
Yes.
give them a receipt. I guess the black market in Chicago must be auto shop receipts because that's the only way you can really get out of one of these tickets, or if your car was stolen. The cameras, the last one I got was in the middle of the winter. It was a blizzard. There were like 5 feet of snow, and the only reason I was on the road at all was because I had a doctor's appointment and the freeway was completely closed and school was canceled. But I got a ticket for going over the limit in a school zone. You quit fighting after a while. You do break your own rules sometimes. I broke my own rule the other day about not giving out my data. If your husband wants to watch a game badly enough, you just go, the heck with it, and you'll tell them everything. Your firstborn's social security number, where your cemetery plot is
Right.
located. You don't care anymore. I spent an hour and a half trying to get a basketball game for him, and finally I just thought, yes, I'll tell you where I am. I'll tell you what's in my bank account. I don't care anymore. Here, take it all. And I think they're counting on this, although the entire nation of Costa Rica has apparently been hacked.
What?
Yeah, the whole country has been hacked, apparently. Their president made some impassioned speech. Their hospitals, their teachers aren't getting paid, their government employees, the whole country got hacked.
Don't isn't there something about don't put all your data in one basket?
They claim it is Russian hackers. If this is the case, the Russian hackers have just gotten the whole basket.
Holy cow.
I know. It's kind of impressive in an awful, awful sort of way.
Maybe they shouldn't have used the word password for their password.
Or maybe they shouldn't have wanted to watch the basketball game quite that badly.
That's true as well.
I can see how it happened to Costa Rica, because if you really want to do something badly
can.
enough, you will tell them anything they want to know. If they'd asked me to put in my social security number and my PIN and my bank account, I would have done it because my husband desperately wanted to watch a game. So that's love. If all of our money is gone tomorrow, I'll just.
It's because of the NBA Finals.
It's because of basketball. That's right. If you've made it this far, chances are you've been enjoying Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. In which case, you might also like my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. You can find that at your neighborhood independent bookstore or on Amazon. Marcy and I really appreciate your good reviews wherever you care to leave them. Your kind words help the podcast grow. Thanks.